السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. Respected viewers, listeners, wherever you are. First of all, I would like to thank the SLM CC for facilitating this broadcast, this brief message in this blessed month of Ramadan. And inshallah, within the brief time, 10-20 minutes, inshallah, my message will hopefully be of benefit to myself and to whoever's listening, and may Allah give us a tawfiq. First of all, respected listeners, we hear this expression where people say, oh, the month of Ramadan is a guest and treat the guest well. But the reality is it's the other way around. The month of Ramadan has come this year, it will come next year, and it will continue to come until Qiyamah. But the real guests are we ourselves. We are the guests. We do not know. May Allah give us long lives. But the reality is that we are guests and we are here in this world temporarily. Within this point is this point about the uniqueness of this month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word Ramadan only on one occasion in the Quran. And when he does use the word Ramadan, he mentions that Ramadan, Shahru Ramadan, allazi unzila fihi al-Quran. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has selected this time out of all other times of the year. And this being the month of Allah and the month of Quran also teaches us this lesson that whoever has or whatever has any form of connection with the Quran, Allah makes them shine. The Quran was revealed to the person it was revealed to, the Prophet ﷺ, Allah made him shine through this Quran. The city where this was revealed in, هذا البلد الأمين, Allah made that city, Makkah, shine. The month in which this Quran was revealed has become the month of Ramadan. And whoever, the Sahaba radiallahu ajma'in from the Salaf Salihin, whoever held on to this Quran, whoever connected themselves to this Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevated them in this world and in the hereafter. So for us, one of the signs that our Ramadan is productive, which is what we should be aiming to do, is that our connection with the Quran should intensify. Khatmul Quran is a sunnah act in itself in the month of Ramadan. Now there's three ways of doing the Khatmul Quran. One is to recite the Quran ourselves, which we should all aim to do. If we may not have the daily routine of reading one juz a day, we must go out of our way and divide our time throughout the day, because we have extra time because there's no lunch, extra time because there's no breakfast. So all that time that's been given to us, we should use this time to aim for doing a Khatmul Quran ourselves. Another act of way of doing Khatmul Quran is to listen to the entire Quran ourselves behind an Imam. The recitation of the Imam will be an authentic recitation, and listening to it inside Salah carries an additional reward. So we should aim to listen to the entire Quran in Ramadan behind, and this is the only time in the year where we get this opportunity. One thing to understand when we listen to the Quran in particular, whilst we recite the Quran as well, but when we listen to the Quran in particular, is that one of the things that Allah expects us to do or encourages us to do when we listen to the Quran is tadabbur on the Quran. And the word tadabbur used in the Quran is a very interesting word. One is to derive rulings from the Quran, which the fuqaha do, yatafaqqahun. But one is to do tadabbur. The tadabbur aspect is one of the most enjoyable aspects of the Quran. This Quran is one of the longest living miracle of the Prophet ﷺ, and it will continue to amaze people. I was giving an example as today many Imams will be reciting the 11th juz, around 11th to 12th juz. And I'll just give a small example of what does tadabbur of the Quran and how does one pick up these gems from the Quran and get fascinated. Surah Yusuf in the Quran is described by Allah as Ahsanul Qasas, the story of Yusuf. Yet the surah is not called Surah Qasas. One may think, why is the best Qasas, Ahsanul Qasas, name given to Surah Yusuf, but the surah is not called Surah Al-Qasas? If one's mind goes to the word Qasas, they will find another surah in the Quran called Surah Al-Qasas. And if one thinks about what link does Surah Qasas have with Surah Yusuf, they will find an amazing, they will come across many discoveries. And one discovery worth sharing very briefly is that one will find that in Surah Yusuf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about when a father loses their son, the son gets thrown into water. If one picks up Surah Al-Qasas, they will learn that the mother loses their child and the child is thrown into water. But what happens is, in Surah Yusuf, one learns that one's brother, one's sibling brings back the child to the parent. Likewise, they will learn that in Surah Qasas, the sister of Musa alayhi salam brings Musa back to the mother. One ends up becoming a royal advisor in Surah Yusuf, and one becomes a royal child in Surah Qasas. And one has to go through a long distance of patience and waiting away from their father. And the promise is made that the child will return. And the mother is given the promise that your child will return. So you can find this link. And this link opens up the uniqueness of the Quran, which is why one hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, narrated and collected by Imam Tirmizi in the Sunan, the wordings are لَن تَنْقُضَ عَجَائِبُهُ, that the mysteries of this book will never finish. The mysteries of the Quran will continue to open up to the world, to the scientists, to the astronomers, to the historians, to anyone and everyone who wants to do tadabbur on the Quran. So we must take this opportunity to enjoy the Quran. The Quran is the real therapy of Ramadan. This was my second message. Thirdly, and this particular message is mainly aimed at how to maximize from our month of Ramadan. When it comes to ibadah, you and me can only do ibadah within our limit. I can only pray one salah. I can only do one khatm of Quran myself. I can only give sadaqah to whatever's in my capacity. When you hear the hadith, man qama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaba, this question will come to your mind. And why did the Prophet ﷺ use the word iman and ihtisab? The answer that one can think of is that Iman has been used as a condition, which means that Iman is something that needs to be built. If we utilize the month of Ramadan and through our words, right now, as I'm speaking to you, this is the best example. Many people are viewing and listening, and they're wondering, what is this message going to, how will it inspire us? What will be said? One will learn that if we are making effort on our Iman, and if we are inspiring others to make effort on their Iman, then endless amal will come into our account. Which means that if we inspire others to recite the Quran, we inspire others to give sadaqat. You may not be a millionaire, but if you influence a millionaire to donate, then your ajr will be endless, which is why the word Iman and ihtisab has been used. So, most importantly, this month is a month of opportunity, month of sabr, month of mawasat, month of caring for the poor. One of the signs that our month of Ramadan is being used productively is our generosity must increase. The generosity is not the generosity we show in the masjid when the masjid is forcing us to donate. The generosity is that we ourselves are going to the masjid. We ourselves are looking for opportunities, and we're doing the research to see how can my donation have maximum impact on the poor. which means that we go out of our way. If we have to go out of our comfort zones, find the most dire need people in the world, people who probably don't eat properly for months, who don't drink water properly, who don't have a roof over their head, who are living on the edge of poverty, on the poverty line, below the poverty line, whose poverty has taken them to the level of kufr. قَادَ الْفَقْرُ أَنْ يَكُونَ كُفْرًا. We hear of many instances where people throughout the Muslim world, as well as the world in general, they are struggling to the point where missionaries are coming to them from other faith groups and saying to them that unless you convert into our faith, we cannot help you anymore. So in those zones, regardless of whichever part of the world it is, we should be maximizing our input. Donate as much as you can. Make others donate. Remind them, encourage them. The money that is being saved, a lot of money has been saved through this pandemic, where people haven't been going out, they haven't been spending, they haven't been going on holiday. Use this holiday money. Your lunch in Ramadan has not been, you're not spending that money on your lunch. Use this money. You don't have to psychologically be giving everything away, which ideally should be one of our aims. But whatever money you've saved due to these changes, you give this money in sadaqah as much as you can. And inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to utilize this great month of Ramadan and read the Quran as much as we can, to do tilawat of the Quran as much as we can. And most importantly, my concluding message will be in regards to how we can take from these anwarat. In a simple way to explain is that, how does a person have the energy to stand up and pray such long raka'at, such long salah, qiyam? One wonders, because it's natural. On the first few days, everybody is very eagerly, wanting to do the tarawih, the full tarawih. And one, stands up first day, second day, third day, and then suddenly what happens is something goes wrong somewhere. That something that goes wrong somewhere is that the noor that was built up through this initial, let's just say, barakat of Ramadan, one was unable to maintain this noor. Which is why when somebody asked, wise scholar, how do I know that my Ramadan has been accepted? How does a person know even his salah has been accepted? They say if you pray one salah and you get the tawfiq to pray the next salah, there's a high chance that your previous salah was accepted, which is why you did the next salah. Like somebody asked, how do you know my hajj has been accepted? Well, nobody can really tell you if your hajj is accepted. Only Allah knows if your hajj is accepted. That's the right answer. But when one returns from hajj, you see a change in a person's life. You see an increase in their ibadat. You see them more in the masjid. We, for example, due to this lockdown 1, lockdown 2, many of us were being deprived of the masjid. Now Ramadan has opened up the opportunity, the law has eased down, the restrictions have been lifted. People are still spending less time in the masjid. There are many masajid that have allowed people to stay in the masjid from Asr till Isha, Asr until Suhoor, and people are spending more time outside the masjid. So if the qalb is not mu'allaq bil masjid, the Prophet ﷺ says a person whose heart is connected to the masjid, you will see them in a person who you see frequent in the masjid, give glad tidings of Iman for these people. So we know the hadith of Iman and ihtisab, but our heart is not connected to the masjid. That means there's something wrong. This gap and this sort of challenge and this target we need to set for ourselves is that we take so much from the anwarat of this month of Ramadan, so that when we go out of Ramadan for the remaining 11 months, people give an example of Yusuf alayhi salam's brothers. That Yusuf was one of the brothers. This one brother became a means for the remaining 11 brothers being accepted, because due to the jealousy they threw him into the well. But due to the patience of Yusuf, due to the wisdom of Yusuf, due to the sacrifice of Yusuf alayhi salam, all 11 brothers became closer to Allah. Instead of being disliked by Allah for the actions they did, they became beloved to Allah. In the same way, if we take from these anwarat, and these anwarat only come in Ramadan, we have to accept this. People nowadays fall into these sophisticated Islam. The moment Ramadan arrives, all the debates come. All the debates come. And ulama, we every year we have the same questions being asked to us, because shaitan's job is to keep us away from ibadah. And the best way they can do this is to make us fight over whether the moon's been sighted or not, whether it's 18 degrees, whether it's 15 degrees, whether it's 8 rakats or it's 20 rakats, whether it's this or whether it's that, whether this dua is bid'ah, whether this dua is sunnah. We fall into all these arguments and we lose the purpose. We forget the substance, we fall into the form. So ultimately, in my conclusion, the anwarat of this month of Ramadan will not come again. The nur you will gain through this Ramadan, in the month of Ramadan, is the nur which will give us the nur of tawfiq, the nur of istiqamah, the nur of tawakkul. All these anwarat will come in Ramadan. If we don't take from this nur, and 3 levels of people we have: somebody who can't do a lot of ibadah, it's not in their habitual nature, they just about prayed their Friday. We have different types of audience, so we have to speak very generally nowadays. I'm not hopefully addressing an audience of all awliya Allah who have no time. No, we're talking to general people. So a person who just about gets their Friday outside Ramadan, their aim should be they should get the 5 prayers in Ramadan with Jama'ah. And a person who is frequent in their prayers, their aim should be they should get the entire Taraweeh all throughout the month of Ramadan with Jama'ah. And those who do these things, for them, they should aim for at least 3 khatms of the Quran every 10 days. And if we do what's beyond our normal comfort zone, then inshallah, by us going, one of the meanings of Ramadan is ramd, means to burn. If we go out of the way we burn calories, if we just go out of our comfort zones and burn our desires and our needs and our daily routine, we just go a bit out of the sequence, which is practically much easier in Ramadan because everybody around you is doing it. And the anwar of the Ramadan soften our hearts. That's why the people are generous, they're donating. And you know, even the non-Muslims can give witness to the fact that there's something unique about this month of Ramadan, that level of generosity, the level of donations. You know, we have many parts of the world that just rely on the Ramadan donation to survive. You have many institutes in the world, many mosques in the world, many orphan centers in the world, many hospitals in the world. They rely on just the Ramadan donations to survive. This is the living example of the barakat of Ramadan. Now, 1 month's generosity is enough to keep 11 months of the year intact. So I will inshallah conclude there as time is running out. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to make the most of this, and whatever has been said, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq to convey this to as many people as we can, to maximize our reward, and also to set these targets and make the remaining seconds of this precious month of Ramadan as valuable for us in dunya and the hereafter. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.